gonna have to remind me what we're talking about here. Your audio is muted.
Well, hey, whether you are live or the replay, you are hanging with the Browns. All right, you know what? Let's do this a little different, sir. How about you tell me who you are? How long have you been a carnivore? And how are you liking that? So while you
You know
looking
what?
that up, no, while you
Why would
looking
you
that
do
up,
that?
I'm going to do my part. I'm going to do
You-
mine.
I'm on my stuff.
Oh, what is
I was on it until you
it? Asked you about it?
yeah.
Listen, I am in a whole new phase of my carnivore diet. I kid you not. I don't know if it was just good having a new year, because you know a lot of times psychologically you think of the new year, the new year, the new you, trying things, going for things. So this is January, the first month of 2024. And I was excited when it started because I finally finished school. I finally have my program for your first 30 days is like 95% complete. It down in the description of this video, I have a link that you can fill out. It's questions about you. It's pretty much your story. And then once that happens, I I email you the packet that I put together that has menus, sample menus, and menus for you to create for yourself. It gives you a list of meats and just, you know, some information. Here's an example. Try not to eat 1 to 2 hours. Try not to drink 1 to 2 hours before you eat and 1 to 2 hours after. Now, do people eat and drink at the same time? Of course they do. But when you just think of the acid in your stomach is ready to break that meat down. So if you allow it to stay as potent as possible by not diluting it with any liquid, then when that meat hit it, it's churning, doing what it needs to do, and allow it to do its job before you chase it with some water. So I have little information and stuff like that. Now, you ready, baby? Go ahead. I
Oh
just
yeah. I'm Frederick Brown, the husband, and coming to you today. Notice I don't have on a big coat. I'm sitting out in my office. It's 70 degrees today. Next 3 days are gonna be pretty nice, so I'm excited about that. Not
Now
being
your wife
cold
is
sitting
sitting
here.
here bundled up. I
Right,
don't
right,
know
right, right,
why.
right,
When it
right.
was cold outside, I'm hot in
Yeah.
the house. Now it's
So
warm outside, I'm freezing.
okay. You always different, but that's okay. And today is
No different.
243 days of
243?
journey, this carnivore journey for me. That makes it 241 for you.
That
And I am thoroughly enjoying this journey. As a matter of fact, you and I have this conversation often. And the thing that I think that I celebrate the most is just being able to sustain this weight that I am, or this weight that I'm at, for the last 7.5 months, almost 8 months now, and not starving myself. Before, whenever I made efforts to lose weight, I would lose it. I could lose it, drastically, quickly, unhealthy, in a way that was unhealthy, and then as soon as I start eating again, I would gain it back. So that's not the case now. I eat till I'm fully satiated, and I haven't gained any weight. And I've been, maintaining my weight plus minus 3 pounds here and there. But for the most part, I'm doing the doggone thing, and I'm happy with it. So um, that's who I am, and that's what I've been doing.
Well, there you go. So I'm just 2 days shy of you because I wasn't trusting the process when he did it because I was vegan, for those that don't know. And then I wasn't going to let him have all the fun. Um, and I think as time goes on, the thing that blows me away in my head is all of the agony that I was in prior to the introduction of this diet and the agony, the doctor's appointments, and hope it, like January is not was never my favorite because the deductible started over. Ugh. And so then you had to kind of go through that. My big thing is go ahead and give me one big one so I can knock it out. And then, we just operating off of just the 20%. And when I got up on one of those mornings and my back no longer hurt, that was, hey. Now I know that this Lily gift, if I'm mistaken, this is James. So let me know.
Hey, who? Gibson?
Yeah.
Really? And I see Marvin
Lil Gift.
Stevenson on.
That's what it is. Lil Gibson. That's what, huh?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'd have figured
Hey,
that thing
Marvin.
out. He say they are at a month and 2 weeks. You well, wait a minute, no. A month and two. How you I thought, hold
Oh,
on.
okay. Call him
Y'all
6 weeks.
started January 1st. Y'all were waiting on because the first was a Monday. Hey Tessa Ray, how are you? So uh correct me if I'm wrong, James. Um, and when I was able to get out of bed without that excruciating pain, that was like remarkable to me. And now that I sit back, it's like this journey that you go on for your own health. Let's look at it like that. Whether you at some point of your life are working, with childhood issues, working through a death in the family or someone close to you, a loss of a job, as we grow in this walk of life and we start moving forward and then we start desiring different changes to happen in our lives, this right here, I need Camp Williams right here to say, here. Ah,
You know what? Yeah, you agree. But and Marvin just said it's a month for him. For some reason, I thought they've been doing this longer than a
because
month.
it says this is month 4.
Oh, month 4. Ah, my
Yes.
bad. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I misread that. Yeah,
Yes,
month
you
4.
did. That's
Yeah,
why I
I
put
thought he'd
that
been
on
doing
up
it for a
there.
while. Okay,
Hey,
all right,
oh, and
cool.
that look, Gibson just told me you're not wrong. I know, I remembered that on the first. Hey Renee, how are you? Hey Zell, how are you? And so I think for me, it's one of those where I can go back and look at some of our videos and we talk about where we just sharing with the people that we just started this carnivore diet, what kind of is happening. And then we say, after 30 days, we'll introduce stuff back, but then by then we can kind of pinpoint what's bothering us. Da, 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 da. I think we said that. No, I know I said that because living this way, I couldn't comprehend it. And so I was looking for, because I felt like people would think I was crazy. What do you mean you just eat meat? Just meat. What about the vegetables? What about fruit? What about nuts? You mean you can't have a piece of bread? How you gonna eat your sandwich? You you start hearing things like that. And so that's where I felt, well, we'll just see for these 30 days and we'll slowly introduce stuff back now that we're past 6 months in, because it gets better and better and better. And then all of a sudden, now you kind of coming into your own and you're really figuring out some things. And for me, I know that I had medication locked away in fat cells. I need that to sink in for some people.
Yeah.
Medication locked in your fat cells. You think of all the different things, whether it was a prescription that was given to you for 30 days. Well, let's try this. Let's try that. Well, this didn't work. I'm still hurting here. Oh, over here. Oh, over here. Here's another prescription. Here's another prescription, so on and so forth. All of that did not just, exit in your waste. Some of that, plus some of the food, some of the toxins, are locked away in fat cells. So as for me, get smaller. The thing that happened to me that I shared is I broke out across my chest, and then there was a couple of spots on my back. I thought it was a ringworm but it was a perfect circle, but there was no raise on. So I ended up going to the doctor and actually having a biopsy done. And guess what they found, y'all? Nothing.
Well, which they didn't find anything. They just didn't know what they saw. That's all. They didn't know what it was. They
Yeah.
didn't know what was causing it. So
And
basically, it was nothing. But it was nothing they could medically put a name to. So
yeah, but I did walk away with 2 prescriptions.
yeah.
Anyway, with that being said, I am now taking control even more of my life in regards to what I'm putting in. So, the 1st of January, I fasted for 5 days. And this once again is learning my body. So, and then I made a commitment to fast at the beginning of every month for the next 12 months. That is, hey James, that
You
is,
might want to reconsider this one because
no, I know we
yeah,
got some
no,
stuff
no,
coming
we got
up.
some stuff coming up at the first of the month, and that's not going to be good. It's really not going to be good.
Hold on. So, to stay true to my commitment, sir, like for instance, we have an event on the 3rd, which would technically be my 3rd day of fasting. And for those, this me on the 3rd day. And so I
Yeah.
can't go to the event like that. So what I decided to do is push my date back. So I'll actually start fasting on the 30th.
Well, and also we got a big birthday cruise coming up at the first of the month for you, and I definitely don't need you with attitude and all of that trying to celebrate a birthday. So we're gonna have to make some concessions in terms of being the first of the month when that time comes
Okay.
around.
Okay. Well, hopefully by the time when I turn 60, y'all, um, by that time, possibly some of the things that I am working on, and my fast didn't necessarily have to be 5 days every time. I just said that I would. I might reduce it to 2 for that particular time. But I'm looking for some autophagy to take place, uh, eating up some excess skin and allowing my body to feed off itself. uh because we're so wonderfully made. That's the great part of us. We're wonderfully made. So that means that when you're not putting nutrients in your mouth, your body has to feed off of itself. And it don't go for the good stuff first. It goes for anything that's bad in your body.
Let's talk
And then,
about this. I don't want to
okay.
cut you off and talk about this because I'm looking at Zell Shay, her post, and it kind of reminded me of the conversation you guys had a couple of days ago on the Feline show about
Okay.
fasting. I know
Yep.
Rhonda was sharing some stuff, and I'm looking at Zell Shay say that they can't fast at all. And I was kind of reflecting on that, and I know that those kinds of things vary from person to person. But
Mhm.
I honest to God, I believe that it's more psychological than anything. When you feel you can't do it, I believe, this is my personal belief, that it's more psychological than anything. Now I say that because
Yep. We need
um
to follow up. Go ahead.
I say that because you know I've I've trained my body. I normally eat just one time a day. until I'm satiated. But I believe that one of the things that I've been able to do in my life is mind over matter, and my mind can be very strong, and I can place my mind over situations. And I know everybody can't do that. I know everybody can't do that. So that's why I say I believe it's more psychological than anything. They can't do it. They feel they can't do it mentally, not
Mm-hmm.
physically. It's mentally is where they struggle. So it's not a physical struggle because you can go many, many days without eating and you won't die. So the part that makes you feel bad, the struggle is right here.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. Now,
No,
are there any
no.
exceptions to that?
Now, I
Possibly.
would say that it has to do with the person because, okay, so a good way to um, fast is to prime your body prior to, in other words, eat. But you're still eating your meat. That's so if you are a 3 times a day eater, stay 3 times, but make sure you are eating and you have to pay attention to your fat ratio. And so do
I hear
50
people say
50.
that. I hear people say that. And Rhonda said
Yeah.
that the other night. She talked
No,
about
but
priming. No,
yeah,
no,
but
I've heard people say that. And I guess what I'm saying is my mind, my mind is strong enough to where, like right now, I haven't eaten yet. So if I decide that I want to do a 3 or 4 day fast, I don't have to prime. I can just go now from this point on. I can do it. And if I don't, then my blockage is right here. That's what I'm saying about me.
okay. And so now I'm talking for all the other people in the world because we know you are different. And Marvin has a question for you. But listen, so what I'm saying is, uh, it's almost difficult for me to prime because number one, I don't get hungry. And then I have a smaller stomach. I have all of these things. So now let's go to I'm fasting. I'm keeping in my mind the purpose of me fasting is not to lose weight because the moment that you start eating, your body is going to try to recuperate. So that's hence priming prior to. So if you've told your body, oh, your body is eating, then your body is fine. And so when it goes without, it's fine, and it's going to look for what's bad in your system and start eating those cells first. But for me, because I don't care how much priming it takes, I'm looking like it could be weeks. I'm never going to get my body to that point. So, number one, I'm not going to feel the hunger, but what and then acid in my stomach just like jumps around on its own if I didn't put anything in it. And so that lethargic feel is what I get. And it's like the weakness is there that I feel close to starvation. Like
Mhm.
those are my feelings. And I'm looking, it's like, no, I can't move right. I don't have I got energy when I fast is like to go to the bathroom. So let's fast forward, day 3 or something like that, and you might have a little energy, but the moment that I use it, I gotta go lay back down again. The last time I fasted, uh, yeah, you weren't here, and I went to open the window and I had to stand on the bed to reach behind because don't worry about why the headboard is in front of the window. That's a whole nother story. But going down and the moment I stood up, I fainted. I fell back and hit the wall.
Yeah,
And
but
then
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I do not disagree. And what I'm saying is I'm not making a blanket statement. I said for me because I do realize there are exceptions to every rule there is. There is or are exceptions. And I know in your case, I know what your exceptions are. I'm
now
not
I
talking
want
about
you to
exceptions.
answer this for
I'm going
Marvin
to
as
answer Marvin. I'm
well.
going to answer that for Marvin. But I do realize that there are exceptions. I'm just saying that if you can place the mental, if you can get yourself in a mental state, for most people, for a lot of people, I
For
think you
you.
can overcome it.
For you.
Okay, for me, we'll leave it at that. We'll agree to
Yeah, we
disagree.
got we gonna have
Here's
to
the thing.
because I know
Okay,
I
baby, I'm
live
not
with
talking
you.
about you. I'm not talking about you. I know what your struggles are. I know what your struggles are. And anybody that's in that same boat as you probably got a similar struggle. But I'm talking about those people that don't have that reduced stomach, those people that can eat and they can't eat, Marvin. What I'm saying is when I say that I eat once a day until I'm what? I'm fully satiated, until I am full. I don't want anything else. That's what I'm saying. I don't want it when I can eat to that point and I don't want anything else. That's enough for me to sustain until the next day. That's enough for me to sustain and pursue the bliss. And I got another conversation on Monday about this. And she's going through some things and she shared some things and there's some people that feel that they gotta eat multiple times, and that's fine. Some people feel that way. And some people may need to, and that's fine. But what I'm saying that if you can, I believe, and I know for me, when I can place my mind over matter, I can do it. And I don't think I'm any more exceptional than anybody else. I don't think I'm better in any way than anybody else. I don't think that what I do is that no one else can do it. I don't. There's nothing unique about me. I'm just a normal person just like everybody else. But here, this a whole different game for me. That's a whole different game.
So how
And
are you separating you from your mind then? Because I'm getting ready to say thank you. So stop that.
yeah. No,
You
it's
are
not.
okay. No, no. So let me just say you are not like your typical person. First of all, um, okay, here I gotta tell this story when we was dating. I don't remember where we were going, but normally people I don't know why we do this, maybe because people like live around the gas station, but this before GPS and all this other stuff, right? And so if you can't find something, normally what do? We stopped at a gas station, we asked somebody. So we are going to do something, I don't forgot what it was, and I'm not one to be riding around in circles, can't find what we're trying to do. And so I made the suggestion of you just stop and just ask. Y'all, in the back seat was probably every map for all 50 states, plus Atlas, plus uh, uh, some other stuff. That joker turned around, and next thing I know, poof, the big map came out, and he done zoomed in, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I'm saying to myself, you got to be kidding me. You that much where you just can't go in there and say, where is so, but I ain't say that out loud. It's like the beginning of us, and I didn't. But baby, that's been our life.
But here's the
So
thing, like you said though, like you said, this was before GPS, this was before cell phones, with the GPS and where you can pretty much find Google anywhere, right? So in my former job where I did travel a lot, I did drive a lot. So every city that I visited, I had street map, I had atlas, and that's the way I found my way around. I'm hitting a lot of times backwoods and places you can't find your way. I have been in places, and I can tell you specifically about a place in Louisiana where I learned my lesson about that. So I don't ask for I don't ask for directions because I get in places where I find streets with no street signs, streets with no stoplights, and my wife, with the right brain, likes to have a visual, and I'm more technical, and I want that left brain. I need to know specific. Don't give me no landmarks. I don't need none of that crap. I need to know north, east, south, and west, and that's how I navigate. That's me.
so
She needs the
now, no,
landmarks. I
no.
don't need no freaking landmarks because that don't mean crap to me because she lives in Florida, and then she talking about turning at the 7-Eleven when you got 7-Eleven on every corner in Florida. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, 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 no. What I'm saying about you is that is your personality. And a lot of men are Northwest, and I understand that. So if you're working on the computer and something in a program, something isn't right, instead of looking, or searching, you're going to dissect it. You're going to take hours. And to me, I don't do that. So when you turn around and say, with the carnivore diet, my mind, we don't mind asking for directions. We don't mind knowing if you pass that McDonald's, you missed the street. You're gonna have to go back. It's the street right before the McDonald's on the right. I don't care the name of it. I'm looking for McDonald's and I'm getting ready to make the right. The street sign is big, McDonald's is this big, and that's much easy for me to see.
That's okay.
No, y'all see how
that's okay. And you really got to understand. You and I have been having this conversation, and everything that we look at, we talk about men and women. We talking about women being emotional and how they view things, and men being logical, and they were looking at the same situation and the responses are different. I understand that, and I understand the way that you are. I'm saying that's not the way that I am. So when I am talking about this diet, and when I'm talking about this diet, what I believe, and I know that works for me, and I believe, and because it works for me, I believe that it can work for many others as well. And then you got those where it won't work. I mean, I understand.
There you go. Now, with that being said, so no, I didn't say that every month it'll be 5 days. And I do understand where you're coming from, because when I fast, I do get lethargic. I really, really do. And so I want to kind of talk about that, because your fasting is different from my fasting, meaning I don't see you have that pitfall the way that I do. And so day one is no big deal for you. Day two, you might be a little sluggish and then like decide to go to bed early. But that won't stop you from doing the things and stuff that you need to do. Day three, somewhere in there comes where that flip over, and then you're like normal. You could just keep going. That's not how it works for me. Day one is okay, fine. Day two, I have to by then take medicine for the acid in my stomach because it's popping all over the place. By day three, I'm like starvation.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. And it's like day four, I can turn around and kind of move a little bit more, but it's not, I can't exert too much energy. It's just sometimes it's like, man, I don't even feel like picking the cup up. That's
to your
too
point,
much.
that was good. But to your point about me pushing myself, that's you see me do this and you question why I do it. I mean, I do. That's that mind thing I'm telling you. I was talking about. I will. There are times when I have been sluggish, that day or two, but I'll push myself to a point where you really don't know how bad it is, because mentally, I feel like I can overcome it. Mentally, I
Okay,
feel
so
like I can
that's
overcome
what
it.
I'm gonna see mentally what I do on this next one, and that's okay. Let me tell you
No, you
about
can't
you.
compare me to you. You can't compare me to you. You can't do
Okay, but
that.
no, let me tell you something about you mentally, and then we're gonna change topics. You were once coaching middle school basketball, and your mind told you. Now you want to laugh because your mind told you that you can fake it and then run with these little 12 and 13-year-olds.
Same thing I used to do when I was 16. Yeah. My
Right.
mind told me that.
Your mind told you, but that body of yours killed over looking like a dead cockroach down on the floor when in your mind you was doing this right here, but your body said, we ain't doing that. So that's what I'm saying.
But that didn't stop me from thinking I could do it. That didn't stop me from trying it. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That didn't stop me from trying. No, you don't. Because you'll give up. You're like, no, I'm going to bed. You don't care. You going to bed.
I really
you don't care.
Yeah,
You would say you'll say it'll be there tomorrow, where I won't. I won't say it'll be there tomorrow. I'll keep going.
That's perfect. Because there you go. I'll look and say, it'll be there tomorrow. We good with that.
Yeah.
But I do, for those that this is a good segue to the point. There are some people I would like for you to well, I'll explain, because I know Marvin had said that at some point, I think it's different for me, but Frederick feels correct me if I'm wrong, that after you've been on the carnivore diet for a while, your goal is to like eat that one time a day, sit there, eat your massive amount, like Dr. Chafee says, eat till it no longer tastes good. So if you finish something and you didn't, took that last piece of meat and you done went around the plate, got all the extra sauce and did one of these numbers and ate it, and you could actually eat some more, he suggests eat more at that moment. Now, the difference with me is I can turn around and I can do all the same things. I can eat it and I want more. But if I eat more, I'm gonna throw it up.
You can't
Because
compare you. You can't
that's
talk
what I'm
about you in the
saying.
same
Because
sentence.
this is like this my stomach ain't even this big.
Yeah.
So if I push all that in, it's tasting good, it's gonna come back up. And
See
so
what
you
what
would
you're
think,
experiencing. What you're experiencing. There's a small percentage of people in the world that are in your boat. So you really can't compare yourself to what others that don't have that surgery are able or not able to do. So that's not even a fair comparison. So yours is a totally different. It's totally different.
right.
Um,
And so listen, because I think sometimes people feel, well, you got to reduce size stomach. That crap might have worked, and it didn't work even before the carnivore diet because I was vegan and I was big, and then I was eating small portions and I stayed big. So no, this right now I will never be big again, and I understand that wholeheartedly. But when think of the lion in the jungle, when he takes down that wildebeest, he eats until he ready to go take a nap. He gonna keep licking the blood. He finding a shade tree to go lay down. Right? I can't do that, but that is what we are supposed to do. You eat food. You're just eating to live, not living to eat. And so I'm so proud of, and uh, I have a live coming interview with a young lady that uh, she was one of the ones when I was going through and putting together my packet. I had certain people that I was utilizing. We were going through their first 30 days together so I can do my documentation and the menus and all this other stuff. Okay. And so for a long time, she said, this is so strange to me because the scale is not changing, but I've dropped 2 dress sizes. And she's like, but the scale is still like this. So everybody's story is different. And so I know a lot of times people see me say hashtag never be big again or hashtag
your body, you're absolutely right. So you may not lose weight, but your body will transform. It will transform itself into a figure that's probably optimal for your height, your size, and your whole physical makeup. So I think that's what's important. There was another comment here. It said,
damn.
do you lose more weight during the fast?
Oh yeah,
And that
yeah.
was
That
what's his
was
name?
James. He wanted, yeah, he
Is
wanted
that
to know
James?
that.
Is
Yeah.
that James?
Little
Okay.
Gibson. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah. He said, do you lose more weight during the fast? And losing weight during the fast is kind of relative. It dependent. It depends. And here's the thing, because if you're fasting to lose weight, then you're probably not going to lose weight because your body's going to go through different transformations. First of all, it probably depends on how big you are to start with, right? So, if you're really, really big and you got a lot of fat cells, there's a possibility that your body will feed on those fat cells during this time. And then there's a possibility that your body will go into what's called starvation mode, where it's not sure if or when it's going to eat again. So it'll start holding on to that fat, and you find yourself not losing weight. So I think again that's a mental thing. So I think what I find for me is that it depends on why and how I do something, right? So I don't go into a fast to lose weight. That's not why I will fast. I will fast based on something similar to my wife says, and when I want to cleanse my body of some of the impurities that I may have taken in to give myself a refresh, right? And in doing so, and my whole attitude and thing changes, I will find myself losing weight. And I have gone on long fasts where I had to stop because I found myself losing weight when that wasn't even my intent, right? Because that's not the purpose, that's not the reason why I did it. And I may not want to do that. So then I would discontinue the fast because I don't want to lose that extra weight. I don't have a lot of weight to lose. And but again, it varies from person to person, so I think it's kind of, it depends. At least it does for me. Again, what my wife and I are sharing are our experiences, because you'll notice that a lot of things that she shares has to do with her reduced stomach. That's not the majority of the people. So
Right.
a lot of what she goes through and what she deals with, a lot of people ain't gonna have those issues, right?
Mm-mm.
You're gonna have more people in a situation similar to that I'm in, where I got my full stomach, you know. So you kind
But no
of,
gallbladder.
and no gallbladder, right, right. So how I process, you know, the bile is processed and stored and secreted is a little bit differently, but my body has compensated over the last almost 8 months. So even with no gallbladder, I can't tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have those issues that I used to have anymore. You know, um, frequency and irritable bowel syndrome and stuff that I would go through from crapping 3, 4 times a day to maybe crapping once every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah,
That's a big difference.
that
That's a big
is.
difference.
Yeah. And
So,
I can say that I know for your gallbladder issue, that used to regulate like where we would go. We
mm,
would consider how long we would be in the car, because if you ate something before we left, normally if we were going somewhere, you just didn't eat, period. And then we were going somewhere and a meal was served. So then you would eat, then we had to wait, and you say, okay, let's go. But if we had a long drive, I mean, there's no telling what would turn around and happen.
yeah,
So I'm so
yeah.
glad
And,
now that
and you had actually prepared a go bag for me, right? You had a go bag, with wipes and things like that, toilet paper, toiletries, because when that time came, it ain't like you can negotiate. No, I want to stop here. No, I think I'll wait till the next. Nope. When that time came, that was it. It's gonna do what it's got to do. So we had a go bag for that, and now I don't have those issues. I don't,
yeah.
to a point where you used to say, well, why don't you just put on a diaper? And that was kind of humiliating to me. I ain't gonna do that crap, you know. And back when I was flying a lot, that was really a big deal because I couldn't get trapped on an airplane. There are times when you can and can't get up, depending on where you're landing or whatever. I found myself sitting on a tarmac for an hour. I can't risk that, so I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't
Mhm.
eat, you know. But those issues I don't have anymore.
I
Those
know
issues
that's one of
are
the
gone.
things I can say, that even though you don't have a gallbladder, the set off issues that you did have, it's like now, you're doing really well. Now, I will say, but this is for anybody. If you eat out,
Mm,
something can trigger, because keep in mind the majority of restaurants are in business to make money. So for me, they use a cheaper quality of everything, and vegetable oils, seed oils, they are yeah, like not made for
yep.
the inside of your body, period. And so, but that's what they use, for non-stick. And then sometimes you see them use the Pam, or lack of a better word, the spray oil. None of that stuff is good for you. And that's one of the things that Kerry was talking about when he went on a cruise. He's like,
Hmm.
no, listen, I ate a steak, I ate the egg, the bacon. Those are foods that we eat. But then the depression and stuff crept back in on him. So I do understand that. Now I will say I prefer not to eat out anymore. That portion where, you know, you get dressed up, or unless I'm on the ship, I will of course do that. But now what's nice for me is he and I in the kitchen together, and maybe one is cooking, the other one is cleaning while it's going on. We go ahead and eat. Now if you want to take it up a notch, go ahead and put you some candles out, go and pop the music on, and you still do the same process, and y'all do dishes together, almost like for those that watch Ghost. You know how they were doing the little clay thing, rubbing hands together. Well, there you go. Put your hands together in there and bust the suds. Why do one wash, one rinse? However you guys do it, knock your kitchen out, and there you go. This is so that is a true statement right there.
Yep.
Yes, it's not good at all. But uh you hit a little bit on our show Monday, because we were talking about holistic and things and stuff that we meaning the panel used, and I did a demonstration of a castor oil. Um, oh yeah, I can see that, the Brazilian steakhouses. But once again, let me just say that like we went to where was that place that Ruby no, it's not Ruby Tuesdays,
Golden Corral.
Golden Corral. And you know, they said, I said, cook my steak, and they do it on the grill, and it was like, put nothing on it, don't do salt, because we carry our own salt, everything. But I still tasted something on the meat, and what it was is that the meat came to them marinated. So and even though they prepared it on an open flame, everything like I like, that ended up being an
Yep.
issue because, you know, and so I don't know. I'm in agreement with you, the Brazilian steakhouses. And for those that don't know, that's where you have that disc. One side is red, one side is green. Green means bring me some steak. If it's on the red side, I'm doing fine right now. So I can see that, just not 100% sure their preparation as well. Even when you're doing barbecues with no sauce. Well, some people marinate theirs in brown sugar and all this other stuff, or they make them something, and it is what it is. So you
Yep.
really have to. So I will now, when we're out, Wendy's, they burgers. We'll do that, and we haven't had an issue with that. So what do we have coming up? Monday, 7:30 in the morning. Y'all can go to the channel and see. We finally got Dr. Chafee rescheduled, and I am super excited for Dr. Chafee to meet me. Oh, I'm asking questions because, to me, this is G's opinion. In the carnivore community, I say Dr. Chafee, like, I not sit at the top, but he ain't putting nothing in his body. It's just the meat, salt, water. He doesn't waver on a sauce, a cheese. He doesn't waver on those things. So having a conversation with him, I'm going to see that. And I'm going to ask him I'm asking questions I ain't never heard anybody ask on an interview. At least I haven't heard it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And we also got Carnivore Kent coming up
yeah.
soon, and I'm really excited about Carnivore Kent. He's, for those that don't know, he has a colostomy bag, and he has a very insightful view of what is really transpiring in our bodies. I mean, firsthand knowledge. He's seen it. You know, we others have talked about it. You know, we've seen videos or what have you, but this man has seen it for himself, and I've been impressed with a lot of his videos and the information that he's provided. So I can't wait to talk to him about that. We also got Carnivore Kip
Now I'm
coming up as
excited
well.
about Carnivore
Yep,
Kip.
yep. He's gone through
And
some major transformations.
well,
Yeah,
not only
so
that, I know that, well, you know, he fell off, so to speak. But you really didn't fall off. I mean, you really didn't. But I know, so I want to hone in on to some things that triggered with him, because anytime that we do a interview, it's not just for us, but other people are looking for some some answers and to their questions as well. And I'll
mhm.
ask anything, you know that. And so I want people to take their health serious, but every day might not be that carnivore success story for you. And
Yeah, I think the conversation that I was having with Pursuit of Bliss on Monday, she pretty much summed it up. That we have to find our own way,
Mhm,
and that way may be a little different than the next person. And you talk about carnivore Kip falling off. No, well, he's got to find his own way. We
mhm.
all should have our own why, and the stronger your why will be the um the greater the chance of you sticking with it, right? So if your why is just to lose weight, yeah, you may fall. You may fall because that incentive is not as strong. But if you're which is what we found, at least I've noticed in a lot of young people, right? But some of the what I would say more mature people that have been around for a while, where some of those bad habits of sugar and carbs over the many years have began to um, take or make
It's
issues
totally.
within their bodies, then they're the ones that have a little more incentive to, okay, well, let's figure out what's going on because I don't like the way I feel, right? I don't like this pain. I don't like these issues. So then their why becomes stronger. And I found that it's probably a little more easier for them to sustain to some degree of this lifestyle. So no, that's
So
just
let
something
me
I've
piggyback off of
observed.
that, because I'm gonna use myself as an example. That if weight was my only thing, keep in mind that I say I'll never be big again, but I confidently say that because I'll never go back to eating what I was eating. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt, you start eating like that, the weight is coming back. And that's the reason why you can
Yep,
lose 10 and gain 20,
yep,
because it's coming back with a vengeance. And so James was asking, so we don't supposed to have cheese and milk? So here's the thing, James, especially like in the very beginning, in your first 30 to 60 days, this is an elimination diet. You should eliminate all of that and stick just to meat, ruminant meat if possible, but just stick your bacon, eggs, your butter, your beef. You just kind of stick with that, because if you're keeping the cheese and the milk and all of that, you might think that this isn't really working for you, when in actuality it is. It's the cheese and the egg. And so what I find is that if I decide to have some cheese, most of the time the scale will go up. Yeah, it does. And
absolutely.
so yeah, so uh and you're saying milk. So some people will drink coffee and they just put like heavy cream in it, or the whipping cream, which is the same thing as heavy cream. One just say whipped cream, the other one is heavy cream, but they both the same. Um and utilize that. But and normally when a person is utilizing cheese, it is not every day. It, twice a month, something like that, because there's still some other things in it.
So James, so let me sum up what she said. Basically, so the whole concept behind taking control of your health and being able to determine what is or isn't causing you issues, right? You gotta first do what's called a controlled. You got to do a controlled study of yourself. That means you can't have too many variables. If you just like in math, if you got multiple variables, you got to have multiple equations. You can't solve a problem with multiple variables when you only got one equation. So what you have to do is eliminate all the variables and make one change at a time. And when you do it that way, then you'll be able to determine if that change had some sort of effect on your health or your being or your situation. So it's a controlled study. You can only change one thing at a time. So the goal is to eliminate everything except meat. That's and establish a baseline. Once you
Mhm.
establish your baseline, after you've done that for a while, then when you introduce something, you wouldn't do multiple things at one time. You would only do one, right? Add one thing and see how does that affect you. And if it doesn't, that's okay. But don't think it's going to be immediate. I would say if you add one thing, wait a couple 3 days or so and see if there's a delayed effect, you know. So that's kind of what she meant.
Yeah. So, especially but because I want you to have the success. There's some things going on in your body. So, like Frederick and I, we in our phone, we went to notes, and then we listed everything, every ailment that we had, right? And so then once you've been part of this, you can look back and I can tell you I don't have those. Now everybody that has listened to me know my barbecue sauce story. And because I'm a sauce person, I love sauces. uh, from the gravies to the everything. I'm the sauce monster. The ketchup, the barbecue sauce, the hot sauce. That was me. And so I felt that we had been doing this diet long enough that I'm going to introduce a little barbecue sauce, and went down there to Smithfield's. And they little package that you get is probably half this size right here. And I was in pain for 2 days. And so that's where I feel like Frederick will say, you have a strong enough why. I don't know what will trigger that pain again. So I ain't jumping up and down about, oh yeah, let me have that. Immediately I say, a few minutes in my mouth, and then, oh my God, my leg will hurt for like 2 days, uncomfortable pain. Oh my God, I remember this. And so, no, my why is strong enough because I had no idea that sticking to this was going to remove all the ailments. I mean, it's like my shoes have gone down a whole size. Um, so where I was buying some eights, I'm right back into my sevens where that's what I used to wear when I was younger. Thinking that your feet got big. No, your feet got fat.
Right.
And then you lost the weight, and it's like the shoes are now, and then most of the time I need a lace-up shoe because I need to hold it onto my foot. And so there's a lot of things besides your clothes and all of those things that end up changing, and it's
Yep.
it's a wonderful thing to me.
Yeah. Let me add one more thing to this.
Hmm.
In terms of pain, I know I think I've shared it a couple of times, and I know Robin Heron at Coniferous Grandma, she shared it, and I think we both, and there's some other people out there. We both have some degenerative bone damage,
Hmm.
and that's one of the things that we often talk about in trying to take on this lifestyle and our hope has always been that we haven't damaged our bodies to a point that we can't recover. And oftentimes, the longer you wait, the greater the risk. And I know for me, I don't have the inflammation, but because of inflammation and because of degenerative bone damage, there are times when if there's a certain way that I step, I'll rub bone to bone. And that's not a good feeling. That's not it's not inflammation because all I gotta do is change my walk. And if I walk correctly, heel to toe, then I don't feel it. But if I for some reason if I step toe to heel with my weight on it, there are times when I feel that bone to bone. I'm like, but that's damage that has occurred over the years of me doing things incorrectly. Damage where I'm not sure that the carnivore diet will ever cure. I mean, you can't grow. I don't know if you can grow ligaments and those kinds of things again. I don't know. I don't think so, but
I can
the
say your
damage is
comfort
probably
level.
permanent. I'm sorry?
I'm saying your comfort level because you used to when you would go up and down the steps, you were doing that little one step thing, one foot, and coming down. Now you can actually just go up. You're just more cautious on the way that you are landing, probably how you supposed to be walking. Because I know sometimes when we walking, I'm like, look here, are you heel toeing it, whatever you need to do.
Heel to toe. Yeah, you're right. All right, baby.
Yep. So everybody, thank you guys for hanging out with us for this lunch. We hope that we were able to answer some questions. Once again, we're looking forward to our interview Monday with Dr. Chafee in the morning. And then the ladies and I will be on at 7 that evening. And then we look forward to, you look at that. And that was just a year ago. And so that's how I know, for those that don't know, Frederick was on a walker January of last year.
Yeah.
And so, okay, but, and then we'll have the ladies panel. Frederick and I will come back Wednesday, but somewhere in February, we got quite a few interviews with Carnivore Kent, Carnivore Kip, and then a young lady who went through her first 30 days, and she is still a part of what we are doing. She, as a matter of fact, I'm going to end with this. Not only am I starting the beginning of the month on a fast, the month of February, I am going to do just the Lion's diet. And so for me, I'll probably eat more lamb than the beef, but beef and lamb will be, my choice, and water and salt. That's it. Oh, excuse me. And my reasoning behind it, because I'm not just doing this, hey, let me just see. No. The autophagy that I'm looking forward to, that has more to do with the fasting aspect of it. And then just eating like the basic carnivore diet, just to see a transformation within me. And hopefully I can eat more and implement more movement. Because movement is important. One of the things that we talked about Monday was we challenged everybody to add something to their life, whether it's add more water, journaling, whatever. And for me, it was stretching. And so I can say that I have been doing that, getting my stretch in. So,
all right, let's go and cut this, babe. I got to come eat. It's past my time.
All right, guys. I guess we talked about food. It's his one time. So we just